always from the heart of the city, and now on demand 24/7 on the CHFI website. This is the soundtrack to The Face of a Clock. And I'm Don Jackson, around the world on the internet. I recently bought a new alarm clock for our bedroom. The other one was starting to finally run down and show its age. I was surprised at the number of clocks available, and one that had gone the way of the dinosaur. Your Clockface, this hour, with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Enya, Only Time, Norah Jones, In the Sunrise, and Coldplay with Clocks. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. I wanted to buy a new alarm clock to replace the one in our bedroom. The old one had a landline phone built into the unit. I searched high and low looking for this. They have alarm clocks with docks for iPods and iPhones, but no old-fashioned landline phone built in. In a power failure, our portable phones won't work because the base needs power. Well, they don't make them any longer. A lot of people today use their cellular phones as home phones. One thing I did find, though, is an alarm clock that displays the time on your ceiling so that when you wake, if you sleep on your back, you can look straight up to see the time. Now, if you were to buy a new clock for your home, not necessarily an alarm clock, would you choose a traditional clock face? Or would you want a digital readout? I want you to think about it. It says a lot about your personality, who you are. More shortly with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Blue Rodeo, staring at the clock on the window ledge in a house of dreams. And Lady Antebellum, what a great song, and Need You Now. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Marlene Tanzer wrote an article on August the 1st, 1977 for the Washington Post. Now, even though it's somewhat dated, I think you'll be able to identify with what she had to say. She wrote, and I quote, "Are you a clock face person or a digital lover? The clock face person prefers curves and tradition. The digital lover, sharp edges and modern design. The clockface person feels that just because something is newer, it's not necessarily better. The digital lover is caught up in space-age calculators, computers, electronic equipment, and gadgets. The clockface person will tell his friend he'll arrive by 5:30. The digital lover arrives compulsively at 5:27. A glance at a clock face is enough for some. The shape of the angle between the minute and the hour hands is comforting and reassuring. For others, the precise second is considered to be essential information." Unquote. Now, I think you can see where she's going with this article. And more shortly with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Doobie Brothers Strangers minute by minute, and Cyndi Lauper time after time. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. So, Clockface or digital? Marlene Tanzer, in the August 1st, 1977 issue of the Washington Post, went on to say, and again I quote, "Early on, digital clocks were used in railroad stations. Travelers and commuters were the first to become acquainted with them. Today, probably the same people read airline and railroad timetables easily, even with enjoyment. Clockface people browse more contentedly elsewhere." Unquote. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. And does anybody really know what time it is? Lifehouse with you and me and Rod Stewart and these foolish things. So, Clockface or digital? I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Marlene Tanzer, in the August 1st, 1977 issue of the Washington Post, went on to say, and again I quote, "A friend has a large wall filled with various clock faces, German, French, and English, along with china, porcelain, and painted wood. Not one clock is ticking. But this is a pleasing sight for the clock face person. No matter here that he cannot find out what time it is. So what if there's so much promise and no performance? But how would the digital lover feel? Would he be disappointed, frustrated, forlorn? Would he prefer the traditional Swiss gift shop with all the clocks steadily ticking? Would he prefer all the cuckooing, bonging, and striking at precisely the same moment every hour? A lovely gold oval of a wristwatch can't possibly report as precisely as the newest square digital. 9:15 looks much like 10 to 9. If it survives the present generation, will a grandchild wear it, active and ticking on the wrist, or mutely pendant on a charm bracelet as a remembrance of things past? Will grandfather clocks come in new imported models with 4-part digital faces and electric wiring? Unquote. The future is here, where some of that is concerned. The conclusion of her article shortly with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. John Lennon, Watching the Wheels, and 07 in the waiting line. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. The conclusion now of this article by Marlene Tanzer in the August 1st, 1977 issue of the Washington Post. And again I quote, "The public prefers digital machines to jeweled movements. No need to rewind, to reset. No visits to repair shops to see the watchmaker sitting, shoulders hunched, feet curled around the base of his stool, eyes squinched to the hold, the loop. Clockface persons have compensated for their timepieces' lack of precision and convenience. They have set their watches ahead 10 minutes or so. They have bought watches with second hands. They have acclimated themselves to electric clocks so that they don't need to remember to wind their clocks daily. But for them, alas, future shock is built into digitals. They must wonder if society has achieved the pleasure of perfection or the nightmare of precision. Unquote. Granted, it's an old article, but I'll bet you can easily choose which clock face you prefer. And I think it's pretty easy to figure out which face the author of this article prefers as well. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. January 27th, 2010. I hope you will tell all your friends about Lovers and Other Strangers. Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.